2024 Sylvania Board of Education meeting to order. Adam, can you call the roll?
Ms. Hoffman?
Here.
Mrs. Conklin?
Here.
Mrs. Lavalette?
Here.
Mr. Feller? Here. Mrs. Johnson?
Here. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dr. Motley, I believe we are with you.
Thank you, Ms. Lavalette. Good evening, everyone. I want to begin with circling back on the discussion that took place at our last board meeting. For those of you that may be watching, or for those of you who were in person, we were discussing the Quarry Ridge open enrollment policy, more specifically in regards to transportation being provided for those individuals whose parents or students who are electing to stay at Central Trail, Timberstone, or Southview High School. And there was quite a bit of discussion around, could we provide transportation? If we do provide transportation, is it for a semester or for a year to allow parents some level of transition time in order to ensure that they can make arrangements for their children to make it to school and also make it home from school on a daily basis. So as promised, during that time, I have worked with Melissa McDonald from our Director of Student Support Services, in addition to Mr. Jim Wolpert, our Director of Transportation. And I am able to say with all confidence tonight that we will be providing the option of transportation for those parents who live in Quarry Ridge, the Quarry Ridge development, if they so choose to have their children remain at Central Trail, at Timberstone, or at Southview. We will provide transportation for the 24-25 school year. That gives those families a one-year opportunity to make arrangements to get their children to school if they elect to stay in those buildings after next school year. So I just wanted to be on record tonight and give the board any opportunity to add their thoughts in regards to providing transportation for those students for the 24-25 school year.
Thank you.
Yeah, I covered it.
I'm happy. What do we need to do to formalize that?
So good question, Ms. Lavalette. I've instructed Mrs. McDonald that I would be having the conversation tonight so that we could go publicly on record to let folks know the direction we're going and give the board any opportunity to chime in on any thoughts they may have or concerns. She will be reaching out to those families tomorrow who said, I'm in a holding pattern. We already know who they are. They want to know if we're going to provide transportation before they made a decision. We have some families on the other side that are like, yay, I'm good. We're going to go to the new schools, but we do have some parents who had some concerns and we're holding out. So we will contact them personally tomorrow, let them know what our plans are, and then I will bring a resolution to the Board of Education to move forward at our next board meeting, which I believe is August 12th. Thank you. August 12th, I know already. The beginning of the school year is right around the corner. So that folks are aware, not only here, but those who may be watching later, we gave all of our parents in the Quarry Ridge development through August 1st to make a decision. So even after receiving this information tomorrow, they still have a week to kind of decide what their options are, because what we have found out to date, it seems like we may not need a school bus, but more so a van. The stop has been put in the routing system, it's there. It will have one stop in the development, but it looks like we will just have students for a van. We did meet. I want to make sure that folks also know that I did follow up with the two parents that spoke at the last board meeting. Melissa and I met with both of them, I'm going to say the same week, and we are able to accommodate their concerns or accommodate their requests. One family, I won't say which one, actually has 3 children. 2 of his children want to go to the new schools, and 1 child wants to stay at their current school. And I said, the one thing I don't think is a good idea is to have 2 children at 2 different elementary schools. That would be like parental chaos. So looking out for their best interests as a family, as well as for the children, We are working to do what we can to make sure we keep the family whole in regards to their elementary students. And I would encourage the families who are watching this later that if you have concerns specifically related to your child or children, please reach out to Melissa McDonald and make your concerns known. We had a couple of students that were on IEPs that we were able to even design transition opportunities. So it wasn't just a cold, hey, here's your new school, but we're gonna have a transition plan for those kids to make sure it's a smooth change of environment for those kiddos, setting up potential visits to the new school, meeting the principals, maybe doing a tour, meeting with their special ed teacher, all those things to make the transition smooth. So I'm pleased to bring that forward. And so for those families, stay tuned. You'll be getting a phone call tomorrow, and we will continue to follow up with those who have not made a decision. And that concludes my superintendent's report.
Thank you.
So welcome.
Okay, we are at the portion of our agenda for public participation for items that are on the agenda. And there's no one present for public participation, so we're with you, Adam.
All right, so 4.1, we have minutes of previous meetings for June 24th. Tammy, you were not in attendance, so if we could do that first, and then we'll do consent moving forward, that would be okay.
A second. Adam, call the roll.
Julie,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Greg,
Yes.
Jill,
Yes.
Tammy.
Abstain.
And then 4.2, we have minutes from our special meeting on July 8th. Treasurer's report, month ending June 30th. So that's the last year of the fiscal year, or last month of the fiscal year. I'll have a report, small presentation on the second meeting in August to kind of go over a year-end review of fiscal year 24. But we did line up within about 100,000 of the forecast that I presented in May, and really close to our forecast that we did last November as well. So I'll kind of go over that in August. 4.4 availability of funds. We did have 2 purchases this year that we need, or this month for approval. Stages Learning for some PD, and then our Toledo Edison. We did have a PO for that, but it did go over a little bit over than we anticipated, so that's why we had a portion of the then and now for that. So senior class, we had some senior class money left over, and they wanted it to go to the Southview Principals Fund, 018. 4.6 is credit card rebate program, $2,400 that we're going to get back, which was last year was only about $600, so it's going up. And then, as I previously mentioned, we're our new initiative with Huntington and Integrated Payables. We are paying a lot more of our bills either through ACH or through virtual cards to get a little bit more secure environment. So that amount of money should continue to go up in rebate form every year. And then 4.7 is our gap conversion agreement with Clark Schaefer Hackett. That is the preparing our financial statements for the audit. So this is an annual approval and engagement letter with them. And then 4.8, in May we approved, or in March we approved a resolution to go out to bid through the Ohio Schools Council for 2 conventional 75 or 72 passenger buses and 2 handicapped 65 passengers. So this is the resolution to actually purchase the buses that we went out to bid for with the Ohio Schools Council. And if we do get this in, we'll be able to get an extra $2,000 off per bus. So that is the treasurer recommendations for July. Any questions?
I'll move approval on a consent agenda basis items 4.2 through 4.8.
I'll second.
Any comments or questions? Adam, is there a similar transfer for Northview?
Yeah, we haven't got that. Actually, I was getting back from vacation and going through my mail today. We have one, and that'll be on next month. I believe it's in my box.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, please call the roll.
Julie,
Yes.
Greg,
Yes.
Jill,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
thank you.
We're back to you, Dr. Molly.
Thank you. I have several items on the agenda tonight, and this will be a consent agenda recommendation. Item 5.1 is the acceptance of gifts. We have a donation from Directions Credit Union of $1,000. It is for actually $250 per handler for the training of additional handlers for the Arbor Hills Junior High School facility dog. And we also have a donation from the Polished Nail Bar of 2 pedicure chairs for the Northview Cosmetology Classroom. I hope to try those out as soon as they arrive, just to let our cause folks know. Also, I'm recommending item 5.2, which is the ESC program cost agreement. This is an annual agreement between our school district and the ESC of Lake Erie West. I am recommending item 5.3, which is an internship memorandum and agreement with the University of Toledo, again, an annual item. Item 5.4 is an MOU with a change in salary placement for an educator here in the district. And I recommend that approval as well as the recommendation of item 5.5, which is an MOU for a change in teaching schedule. I recommend item 5.6, which is an agreement with A&G Educational Services. This service agreement works to support students with disabilities, as well as item 5.7, which is an agreement with Finley Interpreting Services for the deaf. And also item 5.8, which is a service contract, an annual contract that we have with SSFAC to provide ELL services, typically their translation services for English Arabic community. And then 5.9 is an MOU for mobile pediatrics. It is a unit that we have a MOU with ProMedica Hospital to serve as a mobile unit for the students at Arbor Hills Junior High. They will offer physicals and things of that nature. And I ask for all of those items 5.1 through 5.9 to be approved under a consent agenda basis.
I'll move approval on a consent agenda basis, items 5.1 through 5.9.
A second.
Any comments or questions, or would anyone like to pull up an item out?
I have a question. Do we have a list identified of what ProMedica Mobile Pediatric Van would be doing?
Yes, we do. And actually, I'm not sure if you're able to access it without signing in. We do have a contract, and that contract specifically discusses what they will be providing as services for our students. And I'm looking up more specifically, it says the responsibilities of ProMedica. They agree to provide services on site, so they will be at Arbor Hills. They will apply with all applicable state laws and federal regulations, and they shall be responsible for any professional liability. The other piece for our responsibility, it really talks about parking spaces and how much room they need, and that they will also ensure that the personnel have access to the different facilities, including restrooms. Typically, I believe last year they really focused on physicals for some of our junior high students.
So this is not a new service? This
No.
is an ongoing service?
No. Once a year, in fact, they actually wanted to do it at a couple of our junior highs, but they missed the timeline for the first one where they wanted to offer it, so we were able to bring it forward for Arbor Hills. My understanding, though, for everyone's information, I believe they're only able to accommodate 6 students, maybe 8 students. It's not like it's for the whole building, because it's for one day, for a certain period of time, and for a limited amount of individuals. So it's not something that a whole lot of students at Arbor Hills will benefit from, unfortunately, because I think it really could support a number of our students in junior high. Good question, thank you.
Anyone else?
I think it's great.
And thank you to the donors. Adam, can you call the roll?
Julie,
Yes.
Greg,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Jill,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Tyverski.
Thank you. I'm asking for approval for items 6.1 through 6.5 on a consent agenda basis. 6.1 is a licensed resignation. 6.2 are licensed school psych interns. 6.3 is the Aspire Able staff here in the annex. 6.4 are licensed new teachers. 6.5 is licensed active duty.
I move approval on a consent agenda basis items 6.1 through 6.5.
I'll second.
I have a question. What are licensed interns? What does that mean?
School psych interns, so they
Do they
will
have a
intern with our
license?
school psychs. They do have people permit license that we just got for them. They come, we have them every year.
Cool.
And we get funding for them, so we get the exact funding that we get from the state, we give to them in terms of salary and fringe benefits. So they don't have our insurance or anything, but it takes care of all of our costs.
Does that coincide with the MOU? You had?
Yeah, I wanted to
Yes.
have them on together, but yeah, we have them every year in August. We usually have one or two that we approve.
Any other comments or questions? Adam, please call the roll.
Julie,
Yes.
Greg,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Jill.
Yes.
Back to you.
Thank you. I will ask for approval for items 7.1 and 7.2 on a consent agenda basis. 7.1 are classified new hires, and 7.2 are some classified personnel changes.
I move approval on a consent agenda basis items 7.1 and 7.2.
I'll second.
Any comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Julie,
Yes.
Greg,
Yes.
Jill,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Kim.
Yes.
Thank you. I will recommend items 8.1 through 8.4 on a consent agenda basis. 8.1 are licensed supplementals for the 24-25 school year. 8.2 are non-teaching pupil activity contracts and their matching resolutions for the 24-25 school year. 8.3 are some changes and corrections to some supplementals for the 24-25 school year. And 8.4 are athletic volunteers for the 24-25 school year.
I move approval on a consent agenda basis items 8.1 through 8.4.
I'll second.
Comments or questions? I have a question just about how the pupil activity contracts work. If an individual is a licensed teacher but not in Sylvania, do they receive the pupil activity contract as opposed to the supplemental?
They will, because we're not paying them a supplemental salary on their yearly salary. So if they're non-teachers outside the district, we're going to give them the non-teaching pupil activity contracts.
Okay. Adam, call the roll.
Julie,
Yes.
Greg,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Jill,
Yes.
Kim.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, we're on board reports. Greg, do you have anything to report?
Not really. We've had a stage yard meeting and a rec meeting over the summer, but it's, over the summer, things were pretty quiet, so I don't have anything to report.
Julie?
We didn't have a Sylvania Professional Alliance meeting because it's July, I made the date open, but I did get to volunteer serving concession stand 7:30 in the morning on Saturday for the day to open, which was last, which actually was.
Thank you for doing that. Jill?
SCS board met last week, nothing really new to add.
We like the summer, don't we?
I got nothing. And I also have nothing. So, we are at the portion of our agenda for public participation for non-agenda items, and there's no one present for that either. So I will move that we go into executive session for purposes of considering the employment of a public employee. Is there a second?
Second.
We will not take action after executive session. Adam, can you call the roll?
Tammy,
Yes.
Greg,
Yes.
Kim,
Yes.
Jill,
Yes.
Julie.
Yes.
Thank you.